Hey, what's up, VC? Welcome back to my channel. This is Phantassie Roundabout. My name is Tim, coming at you from a very lush Berkeley, California. It's worth celebrating that the recent rains that we had over the holidays officially pulled California out of drought 100% for the first time in 25 years or something, which is pretty remarkable. Anyway, a few years ago, I got into a debate with my brother about the conundrum of the EP, or extended play. The subject has most likely been tackled by the VC over the years, I'm sure. I thought I'd make my own video about it. It's weathered a heated discussion over on Discogs over the years, with talk of conspiracy theories and even industry manipulation. And what I think I've discovered from doing my own like online research and just talking with some people is there's really no definition at all. It crosses genres and formats, and it's really just any release that isn't specifically a single that comes out more or less outside the normal album cycle. The first EP that I ever bought was way back in 1998 with Radiohead's Airbag EP, which came out just after OK Computer. And it really opened my mind to the world of releases outside of normal album cycles and music that oftentimes is as good, if not better, than what's on albums. So I became kind of obsessed with the world of B-sides and EP non-album tracks. Anyway, I just pulled a selection of EPs from my collection, both 12-inch and 7-inch, just to show them off. I'd be happy to hear from you guys about your thoughts on the EP and any EPs that you love. So I'm just going to show off a few here. Obviously, maybe one of the most classic EPs of all time, R.E.M's Chronic Town from 1982, came out right before Murmur. This is a perfect distillation of their early sound. We also have the Backyard EP by Miracle Legion. Definitely in the REM vein. This is a 1984 release on Incas Records out of New Haven, Connecticut. This is a great EP. I don't feel like Miracle Legion gets their due quite as much as they should, but this is a wonderful place to start. Another 80s EP that I absolutely love that doesn't get a whole lot of recognition is The Tripes Explorer's Hold. It is a 4-song EP from 1984. This is a side project of the Feelies. It is essentially the Feelies. It sounds like the Feelies, and it is the Feelies. But it's awesome. It's got a cover of Love You Too by George Harrison, or the Beatles. And a couple of originals on here. It's awesome stuff. One of the greatest EP bands of the 80s, I'm sure, is Cocteau Twins. This is Echoes in a Shallow Bay and Tiny Dynamite. Both of these are standout EPs from them, 4 tracks apiece put together. I mean, this is some of the best. It stands up with their best work. A couple other 80s classics. This is from New York. This is Liquid Liquid. Optimo and their self-titled one. The self-titled is from 1981, and Optimo's from 1983. Classic, post-punk, dancey. There's just all sorts of percussion on here. Marimba, rototoms, metal phones, congas. Very dubby. Very, very, very cool. And another early 80s EP. This is Baroque Hoedown by the 3 O'Clock, 1982. Classic Paisley Underground jangle pop. This stuff is so good. If you don't know 3 O'Clock, definitely get into them. And then yet another 80s Paisley Underground jangly pop. This is Rain Parade with Explosions in the Glass Palace. That came sort of right after their first record, Emergency Third Rail Power Trip. Really great stuff. This, of course, is the Conservatory of Flowers in the background in San Francisco. And if you want to get a look on the inside of that building, here's a little snapshot of that. But yeah, the funny thing about this one is on Discogs, this is actually listed as a mini album. So it's like, well, I mean, this looks like an EP to me. It's got 5 songs and it's about 20 minutes long. Not sure what the difference between a mini album and an EP is, but this one is just listed as mini album. So another funny release is EP by Fiery Furnaces. It says EP right there, can't be mistaken, but damn, this is 10 songs and it clocks in at like 40, 45 minutes. I don't call that an EP. I guess technically this is kind of a comp of early releases, but it is called EP, but too long. There are, of course, plenty of Stereolab EPs. This one is technically like a true EP because, in my opinion anyway, it is outside of a album cycle. I have like the Miss Modular EP and some other things, but this is Fluorescences, which was not on a record proper, but it is a full 4 songs, again, about 20 minutes long. Definitely an EP. Of course, EPs can also come out as a 7-inch. I think like Hardcore is most well known for that format. I guess you could kind of say this is adjacent to Hardcore a little bit. Not really. But Tony Molina, Hometown Hero here in California, in the Bay Area, Confront the Truth. This is on Slumberland Records. It's a 7-inch that has 8 songs on it. If you don't know Tony Molina, definitely comes from the Bay Area punk scene, but his solo stuff is just really melodic, Beatles-esque, fantastic work. Young Marble Giants with the Test Card EP. I guess this is inspired by like British TV soundtracks or something like that, or like, I guess, music that would play between programs in the UK. That's what I read somewhere. Oh yeah, it says 6 instrumentals in praise and celebration of mid-morning television made and played by Stuart Moxham and Philip Moxham. Of course, 2 members of Young Marble Giants. This is without their female vocalist. And then here is Shop Assistants with Shopping Parade. This is a 1985 EP that came out just before their debut full-length. So back to the 12-inch, and going to show off just a couple New Zealand Flying Nun things. This is The Chills with their Lost EP. Amazing stuff. This is The Way, which is on here, I think is one of my favorite tracks from them. And then the 3Ds, this is like a early 90s Flying Nun band, so not like the classic sound, but these guys sound a lot like Pavement to me, or at least some of it sounds like that. What is this called? Swarthy Songs for Swabs, with that awesome cover art. Here's a 2000 release from Broadcast, EP2. EP1 was also released in 2000. All this stuff was eventually compiled onto Future Crayon. But yeah, it's awesome to have this. Love the artwork on these Broadcast sleeves. And then another Warp Records release, Boards of Canada, A Beautiful Place Out in the Country. This is an original press on the sky blue vinyl. Just as good as anything off of Music Has a Right to Children. This is a great EP. Then we have a one-off EP by Grandaddy. This is Machines Are Not She. Has some of my absolute favorite songs on here, like Levitz, Lava Kiss. I guess this came out between their first and second records, probably in like, I don't know, 99 or something. But I love this a lot. Grandaddy's awesome. Here's one that I think it just came out in Europe, but it's Delta 5 with their EP called 6. It's got 6 tracks on it. Really all the best Delta 5 songs are on here. This is also at 45 RPM. It slaps. So yeah, I was really happy to find this. I got this in Amsterdam this past year.
Sing with somebody else. You. Who left me behind at the baker? You. Who forgot to phone last Tuesday? You. Who took me to the Wimpy for a big night out? You. Who likes sex only on Sundays? You. Who's got homebrew and lots of sediment? You. Who keeps me out when I want to go home? You.
And then one of the greatest EP bands of all time is Belle and Sebastian. They've released all of their EPs, their early EPs, as Push Barman Comp, which I think came out in 2005. But I went on the hunt for all the original EPs, which I finally acquired all of them. Lazy Line Painter Jane, Dog on Wheels, 369 Seconds of Light. This is just a modern rock song. Awesome sleeve with that one. Legal Man. So Legal Man isn't really a EP. This is what I would consider a single. It's just got side A, Legal Man, and side B, Judy is a Dick Slap. But it's just 2 tracks. I'm Waking Up to Us. And Jonathan David. Anyway, that does it for my EP-sode about the wonderful EP format. I've got plenty of other EPs, but I couldn't show them all. I think it's an awesome release format. You know, gives the band a chance to really spread out and show a different side of their sound. I would love to hear from you in the comments about your feelings on the format, what constitutes an EP, and some of your favorites that you have. So go ahead and comment and like and subscribe. I will be taking a quick break from posting. I've got to do some traveling, but I'll be back in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, with a follow-up to my UK travelogue series. So keep an eye out for that. Anyway, I appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you next time. Peace out.